Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg. We are situated on the ancestral homeland of the Rappahannock and Potomac tribes, and where enslaved people were forced to work on the land. We acknowledge that this land holds many histories, great stories, and the blood of people. Good morning. I am Kristen Tuxbury, and I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be your worship associate this morning. Here at the UUFF, we come together, both in person and online, as one community. We strive to nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, create compassionate relationships, and lovingly transform our community and the world. If you are joining us as a guest or a first-time visitor, here in the building or online, we are glad you are here. Those in the building are invited to leave their contact information at the welcome table in the foyer. For those joining us online, You're invited to visit the worship portal on our website at uuffxbg.org and fill out our connection card. Whether in person or online, this will allow our ministers and staff to get connected with you in the weeks to come. Everyone is invited to fill out a card about a personal or significant joy or concern that they would like to have shared during the service. For those in person, you may pick up and leave a card at the Joys and Concerns table, also in the foyer. For those joining us online, you are again invited to visit the worship portal on the website and fill out a Joys and Concerns form there. Our pastoral care team member collects the in-person cards and reads them during the service. For those online, your joys and concerns will be read during our next service. Please join us after the service for coffee and conversation. In that spirit of greeting, I invite us to greet one another. For those joining us online, please share your greetings in the online chat. It is so good to have you with us today.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Oh, so wonderful to start our time together to the lovely sound of handbells. Amazing. And it just sort of ushers in the holiday season, doesn't it? I think we can now say it's officially started. Of course, the parade was yesterday, and my name is Reverend Doug McCusker, and I serve you all as your minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fredericksburg, and I use he, his, him pronouns. Our month is just beginning, and it is the theme for this month is mystery. So we're going to be exploring mystery all month. And in that light of mystery, I offer our invitation reading from the Reverend Gretchen Haley from Fort Collins, Colorado. It's called Forged in the Fire of Our Coming Together. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes, and forwarded emails, as if these new zodiac signs are capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way. As if we could prepare. As if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought. As if we were not also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, from the yearning to have it already figured out, and also from the burden of believing we either have it all under control or we have none of it under control. Here in our song and our silence, in our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root that is forged in the fire of us coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith. That we believe still that a new world is possible, that we are creating it, already, here and now. So come, let us worship together.
Please join me in reading in unison our words for lighting the chalice.
Yay!
Yay! All right. The mystery.
In the mystery of life, about us there is light.
It gives us a place to grow, to rejoice together. It opens the pathway to love. In this place of freedom, is freedom. Let the light be before us, strong in hope, wide in goodwill, inviting the day to come.
Hymn number 83, Winds Be Still. Winds be still, storm clouds pass and silence come, peace grace this time with harmony. Fly, bird of hope, and shine, light of love, and in calm let all find tranquility. Bird fly high, lift our gaze toward distant view, help us to sense life's mystery. Fly high and far, and lead us each to see how we move through the winds of eternity. Light shine in, illuminate our inward view, help us to see with clarity. Shine true, so we may join our songs in new sounds that become full symphony. Thank you. You may be seated.
To take out something also. Yeah. Okay. Yellow. Okay. Do you mind taking green? Okay. I was told to keep it down. That was why. Okay. Someone told me to put it way below my mouth. Is that better? Okay. Sorry. So it's the Wonder Box if you didn't figure it out. Okay. And we need one more person. All right. So what do these look like? Ornaments. What else? What does it look Like light bulbs. Go ahead. Like leaves. Tennis racket. Maybe like what? Alos. Cool. Elos. Legos? Arrows. Thank you. Good job. They do look a little bit like arrows. So what these are is actually petals of a flower. So Gabe was right, and he probably had some insider information about it. Yeah. And is there something on? She's okay. Is there something on the petals? Yeah, what's on them? There's letters. What's a different language? Yeah, very good. Words about something that mean being kind. Yeah, you see some words that say heart. All right, so we together are going to construct a flower. And this flower has all of the new, but they're really old, UU values. So some of us may have heard about the Article 2 Commission that's going to be happening at General Assembly this summer. And we are going to be moving from principles, 8 principles, to 7 values. And so we are all going to be constructing those values. So would you like to put the first one in for me? So you're going to actually come onto this side, if you don't mind, because it's all depending on yours. So come on over here. Thank you. And then you are just going to push that in. Yep. And we're going to push it in really hard. There we go. So that's the first one. So this one, it says pluralism. What do we think pluralism means? Like Gabe said, this is a little bit of a different language. Go ahead. Sharing. Yep. What were you going to say, Gabe? You forgot? Anybody else have any ideas about pluralism? Yep. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, you want to do yours. Just 1 second. All right. So pluralism is where we have, okay, you're going to put it right on this side. Go ahead. Right where you were was perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, and Stanley says justice. So it does look like yours. So we have pluralism, which means celebrating different beliefs and coming together with difference. And we have justice. All right. Go ahead. What do you have? Yeah. Equity. Awesome. So stick that right in over here. Underneath the purple one. There you go. Yeah, can you do it? All right. Yep. That looks great. Perfect. Okay. All right. So what do you have? So what was yours? Equity. What does equity mean? Yeah. Yeah. Treating people equally. Things being equal. Perfect. Okay. So interdependence. Do you want to stick it in? Okay. Can you give us just, there we go. Yeah. If you just step back for 1 second. There we go. And then he can, yep, there's perfect. So just push it in. Oh, okay. Now you can come forward, sweetie. You don't have to stand behind the flower. All right. So interdependence. What does that mean? I know, this is the one that said maybe this is like another language. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, need. And then what does inter mean? Okay. Did you have an idea of what interdependence meant? I saw your hand up. for yourself. So I like where Gabe said dependence means need, and inter means we're all connected. So we all need each other to be interconnected. That was really good. Okay, what's yours? Generosity. You can stick that one right on top. Awesome. Yeah. So you could stick that one right on top. Yeah, just keep pushing. There you go. All right, so that one is generosity. We all know what generosity is. What's generosity? Being generous. Yeah, giving to others. And last one, Reverend Doug gave his up. What does it say?
It says transformation.
Perfect. So put that in at the bottom.
So put it at the top.
Well, then we can't read it. Can you get it in there? Okay. There you go. You got it? All right. Transformation. And then what does transformation mean? What do we mean by that? Yeah. Yeah, it means becoming. Yeah, and when you become, you change, right? Yeah, so transformation is being willing to change, being willing to become. That's really cool. And what's in the middle here? What is this? A heart. And what does it stand for? What do hearts stand for? Love. So in the center of all of these values is love. And what? In Virginia. Yeah, Virginia's for lovers. That's right. So why don't we make a little curtain so the congregation can see our beautiful flower. In the middle we have love, and then here we have generosity, justice, interdependence, pluralism, equity, and transformation. So those are our UU values, and you can see the principles, how they are reflected in these values as well. So today in the classroom, the students are going to be talking about Chalaka and thinking about how to live out our principles throughout the week. And we will be moving to values as a faith. And we all can hold these values in our hearts and talk about them when we think about UUism. Are you all ready to go to class? All right, thank you. Okay. Yeah, bring the clay. Don't want it to fall. There we go.
Settled in to this moment. My name is Roddy Bell Shelton Biggs. My pronouns are they and them, and I have the honor of serving as your intern minister. Today is the first Sunday of Advent in the Christian tradition. The first candle of Advent, which is one of the 3 purple ones on our table, is the candle of hope. It sometimes is called the candle of prophecy, in remembrance of all of the prophets, especially Elijah, who foretold of the birth of Christ. It represents the expectation felt in the anticipation of the coming Messiah. Isaiah 64, 1 through 9, which is the common lectionary for today in the Christian tradition, reads, "Oh, that you would tear open the heavens, come down, so that the mountains would quake at your presence. As the fires rekindle brushwood, and the fires cause the water to boil, to make your name known so that the nations may tremble with love at your presence. When you did awesome deeds that we did not expect, You came down the mountains, and they quaked at your presence. From ages past, no one has heard, no one has perceived, no eyes have seen the God beside you. Those who remember your ways do so gladly. But you were angry, and some sinned. Because you hid yourself, some transgressed. We have become like those, and all of our righteous deeds become filthy clothes. We have faded into a leaf of iniquity, like the wind that takes us away. There is no one who calls your name or attempts to hold us in your hand of equity. O Lord, you are the creator, you are the clay, the potter, and each of us the work of love's hands. Do not be exceedingly angry. Do not remember iniquity forever. Now consider we all your people in love. This season of Advent here at UUFF, a group of people are going to be joining me in a Advent reflection series, and you are welcome to do so as well. We're going to be using a book called Advent in Narnia. The first session is going to be after service today. So in her book, Advent in Narnia, Reflections for the Season, Heidi Haberkamp writes, 4 children, 2 sisters, 2 brothers, have been sent from their home in London in the countryside to escape the bombing of World War II. They're in a new place, living apart from their parents, with 2 adult caretakers who are mostly absent. It's a rainy day. They're exploring the big, lonely house where they're staying, and Lucy, the youngest child, finds a large wardrobe all by itself in an empty room. She's curious. She opens the door, climbs inside, pushing her way through faux coats hanging inside. And then, as if like magic, she's in the middle of a snowy forest. Heidi goes on to write how walking into Advent can be like walking through a wardrobe. Depending on where you live, Advent might feel cold like Narnia, cold with winter under your feet, but Advent is like Narnia in so many more ways than the weather. It's a magical time, spent from ordinary times. We listen to special music, we decorate our homes, streets, and clothes. We eat particularly delightful foods. Some of us gain a few more pounds during Advent. We experience heightened senses of excitement and expectation. And those are not all, for there are so many gifts we receive, and not just the ones under the tree. To truly enter into the world, we must walk through the door first. Snow, greenery, music, cookies, gifts, all help people imagine the kingdom of God. But no one is more beautiful than walking through the front door and going into transformation. Walking through the door, what would it lead to? What would this season bring? And so today, we light the first candle of Advent.
time of meditation is an invitation to arrive fully in this moment. Cast off that which does not serve you at this time. Unfurl your shoulders. Take a deep breath into this space and quiet your inner chatter. Be here, right here, with loved ones near and far in this shared moment of serenity and calm. I invite you now on a journey inward. And if you feel comfortable, you are welcome to close your eyes and still your body. In your mind's eye, imagine the immediate space around you, where you may be resting, what is around your body, over your head, below you. Appreciate the colors, the textures, and the feel of this place. Recall the memories associated with what and who may be around you, and who has been here before, and what may have happened in this space. With grace and gratitude, send loving kindness to all that this space means to you and to others. Next, imagine the wider community around this place, the other buildings, the homes, the parks, the structures, whatever may be around you in this larger sense. Appreciate and connect with the area of that larger space, of who is there, what happens in that wider community. With compassion and thanks, send kind regards outwards. Next, imagine the expansiveness of our planet, the many people and languages and cultures, the animals, the plants and fauna of our shared home, this interdependent web of all existence in which we are a part. Run your imagination across the fields, across the oceans, across the forests of these lands, recalling the generations of people and animals that have called this planet home for thousands of years. Hold in your care all that has ever been in our world with wonder and gratitude for this day. Next, expand your mind's eye across the vastness of the universe, the known and the unknown, the planets, the stars, the galaxies that exist far outside, even our imagination. Let your spirit touch the mysteries of the beyond, the mystery of the universe, the mystery of that which we may never truly know or understand. With reverence and astonishment, may that sense of mystery continue to immerse us in the unfolding journey of life. May we come back to this present moment with the enchantment of the beyond, bringing us a greater sense of peace, a greater sense of connection and interconnection to ourselves, to each other, and to all that ever shall be. May we arrive back together, blessed by this journey beyond and within. May it be so.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Roddy. Welcome to this theme, this new theme for the month, mystery. It is fitting that we explore the provocative concept of mystery in December because of the long nights and lengthening darkness. After all, Mystery is about what you cannot sense or comprehend. Something in the shadows, right around a corner, beyond your reach. It begs the question, if something is invisible, does it exist? Well, the etymology of the word mystery points to the idea of a secret, hidden truth that renders us speechless. It comes from the Greek root word muo, literally translated as shut the mouth, or to be rendered silent or dumbfounded. And it is also the root word for the English word mute. Mystery, mute. They come from the same root. As long as humans have had the capacity to hold conscious thought and to imagine that which is not yet possible, they have pondered the mystery of life and found themselves speechless. We follow in their footsteps, even though we know so much more about the laws of physics, biology, and environmental science. It is a well-known maxim that the more you know, the more questions you have about what you know you don't know, right? Somewhere out there in all the fields of knowledge, there are horizons beyond which we cannot grasp. We may be able to imagine something beyond the horizon, but we cannot prove that it exists. I call this the knowing edge of knowledge. See what I did there? Knowing edge of knowledge. Beyond the horizon, things are invisible. And I don't just mean that we can't see, because many people can sense things without sight. I mean that it is beyond our senses and all the tools that we use to enhance our senses. For instance, dark matter and dark energy are relatively new discoveries that still cannot be measured or sensed. They are essentially invisible, but they can be mathematically proven by their impact on other objects. And they're not some esoteric idea dreamt up in an ivory tower. It turns out that they are probably the most fundamental building blocks of the universe. This idea of a double dark universe is a refinement of the greatest story ever told. The one about how we got here from the Big Bang 13.8 billion years ago. Astrophysicists filled in the missing pieces of the puzzle by scientifically proving that dark particles and dark energy make up 96% of all the density in the universe. Here's how Nancy Abrams succinctly describes our origin story in her book, A God That Could Be Real, Spirituality, Science, and the Future of Our Planet. Right after the Big Bang, there were nothing but rapidly moving elementary particles and energy. Not even atoms yet. Though the simplest atoms, hydrogen and helium, formed after a few thousand years. The early universe was smooth, expanding but turbulent. Space-time came into existence wrinkled, and the wrinkles expanded with the universe. For billions of years, primeval particles of dark matter flowed toward the wrinkles by gravitational attraction alone. The dark matter formed clumps along the space-time wrinkles. As time passed, enormous transformations occurred. The immense gravity of the dark matter clumps drew in clouds of hydrogen and helium, which cooled and collapsed to the center of the clumps, igniting as stars. Surrounded by a halo of dark matter, the stars cooked up inside themselves the heavier atoms, like oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, silicon, and the nearly 100 natural atoms that make up the periodic table of elements. The biggest stars exploded in supernovas, and they spewed their heavy atoms into space as pure stardust for eons. the intermingling stardust of thousands of supernovas got pulled into the gravitational field of our forming solar system, and 4.6 billion years ago, they condensed into the rocky planet that we call Earth. Hundreds of millions of years passed before the earliest life evolved here, and billions more before intelligence evolved that was complex enough to understand the whole idea of creation in the first place. Well, thanks to supercomputers, we now know the limits of the universe. We know how old it is and how big it is. We know that dark energy is expanding the universe faster and faster. We know that the Milky Way and the Andromeda galaxies will merge in 5 billion years. New stars will keep forming, and a new Milky Andromeda mega galaxy will shine for 1 trillion more years. The astrophysics community is pretty much in agreement that this is how it happened and how it will continue to happen. Now, I did not pore over the mathematical equations or watch the experiments. I hardly understand it myself. So I guess you can say that I am accepting this scientific convergence of opinion on faith as the best working knowledge that we have. What we have in dark matter and dark energy are very mysterious forces that for all intents and purposes are invisible, but very much part of the known universe. What happened before the Big Bang is a complete mystery to everyone. It is a point beyond which no one can comprehend. Lots of theories, but nothing remotely provable. And yet, something must have existed that precipitated the massive explosion. Science has its mysteries that scientists are working day and night to solve. The same holds true for religion. Except religion isn't really worried about proving their solutions. Most religions accept things on faith and are comfortable living with the mystery. And then there are religions like Unitarian Universalism that are equally comfortable with mystery and scientific theories. I ask you now to, I feel like a preacher now, turn in your gray hymnals to the page just before the first hymn. Go ahead. You will see the familiar 7 principles of our Unitarian Universalist congregation's covenant to affirm and promote. But go down lower on the page, and you will see the second half of this covenant, the lesser-known 6 sources of our living tradition. These beautifully written words encapsulate the spiritual quality of our faith. Without these, it would be hard to call us a religion. All right, please read with me the first source. Direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces that create and uphold life. Now, I don't know if it's listed first for any particular reason, but it sure seems appropriate to me. Because in my mind, that source is set apart from the rest. The rest of the sources are equally wonderful, but they're different. They represent the human element, contributions from ancient and modern people. They start with phrases like words and deeds, wisdom, teachings. The first source, the transcending mystery and wonder, is different because it is not something handed down from someone else, but instead is ever present for us to experience for ourselves. I like to think of it as the wellspring from whence the other sources draw their inspiration. Now look down to the 5th source. The 5th one. and read it with me. The one that starts with humanist. Okay, you ready? Humanist teachings which counsel us to heed the guide of reason and the results of science and warn us against idolatries of the mind and spirit. Right there, between the first and the fifth sources, you have the innate tension that drives us as a religious community. The first one is calling us to be open to the mysteries, the mysterious forces that create and uphold life, a divine essence that is invisible, incomprehensible, and yet very real in the consciousness of humanity. But then the fifth source says to heed the guidance of reason and science so that we don't create idolatries of the mind and spirit. In other words, operate on what you can prove, but always remain open to new knowledge. If not, then you have simply created a scientific idolatry of the mind, and you've choked off imagination and wonder. In his book, Skinny Legs and All, by Tom Robbins, he writes, "Religion is nothing but institutionalized mysticism. The catch is that mysticism does not lend itself to institutionalization. The moment we attempt to organize mysticism, we destroy its essence. Religion, then, is mysticism in which the mystical has been killed, or at least diminished." The same could be said about science sometimes. By using the word religion, I think Robbins is referring to religious dogma that has boxed the mystical into institutionalized container with hard boundaries and static essence that never changes, commandments and creeds that carry eternal consequences if you dare violate them. Truth with a capital T. To Robbins, this is mysticism in which the mystical has been killed. But I object to the indictment of religion as equivalent to dogma, because I believe that they are not one and the same. Unitarian Universalism, Hinduism, Taoism, and Buddhism are all religions that draw from many sources and leave the door open to direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder. And even within the formalized world religions, there is room for mysticism that refuses to succumb to the institutionalized rules. In Judaism, there is Kabbalah. In Islam, there is Sufism. And even in Catholicism, there is a long tradition of mystical encounters by people who had visions or heard things that guided their actions in the real world. Sometimes these messages ran counter to the organized religion, and they were punished. But they refused to disavow what they had experienced. I think that the key to living within the tension of mysticism and human teachings is accepting the limits of our knowledge while remaining open to new data in whatever form it comes. Sometimes revelations come through hard facts and mathematical equations. And sometimes they arrive through experience and emotional encounters. And it's important to say, I don't know, with humility and graciousness, and to reserve judgment of the direct experiences of others. Accepting our current limits of knowledge is like allowing space for things to emerge. If you have ever tried to start a campfire, you know that you can't pack the wood too close together. You must leave ample space for air to circulate so that the combustion can expand and generate heat. The space between things is necessary for there to be potential, emergence, and change. The same goes for our understanding of the world. If we don't allow for mystery and wonder, we choke off our openness to the forces that create and uphold life. To lead a spiritual life is to accept that we don't know everything and that there is always something out there greater and more vast than ourselves. When we encounter things that we don't understand, like phenomena that transcends our knowledge, we must be open to the mystery while making meaning of it that honors our experience. The meaning making is our job. That's where the wisdom, the words and the deeds and the teachings from all those other traditions and from science come in. So it's not mystery versus knowledge. It's a both and. That's what constitutes a spiritual faith without idolatries of the mind and the spirit. An openness to mystery and the responsible search for truth and meaning. A holy curiosity of that elusive spark of unknowing. If we keep ourselves open to the spirit of life, to the wonder and the awe of the unknown, we will find that we are never alone. At the heart of mystery is not the unknowable, but unity, the nexus of all our individual spirits. We catch glimpses of it from time to time, but we must tune in with our whole mind, our body, and our spirit to listen. It is up to us, each of us, to make sense of it and to use it as our guide on our spiritual journeys. Our spiritual helpers with the divine spark may be the person right beside you, or the still, small voice in the wind. You will know it when you receive it. May it be so. I open the floor now to anyone who would like to share any reflections, anything that has bubbled up about mystery and wonder and the dance and the play between that and science and reason, and how Unitarian Universalism, or your experience in Unitarian Universalism, fits within that. We have, okay. You go, Thomas. No. Let's get it. Lecter and Mike. Yeah, we're good.
Thank you for this. This was really great. I liked the focusing on the first and the last statements. That really was good. And then as I was looking at it, I was seeing that this was adopted in 1984, 1985. And so if we're going to do these values, we need to relook at them.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing with the Article 2 Commission. Da-dum!
Da-dum.
One of my favorite sayings is, in the pursuit of truth, you often end up having to change your mind.
Yeah. So true. That is very true.
Right now I'm in this transition between a practitioner and becoming a researcher, and it is kind of that, like, I was in this place of, okay, I have this thing that I don't know how to do, so I'm going to look to the information and see how to do it the best I can, and now it's reading that information and them asking me, okay, so what's missing and what do you want to know? Like, what's not there, what needs to be there, and how can you fill the gap? So to me, it's that exact interplay of, if you don't have that curiosity and that wonder about the mystery, then how can we fill the gaps in the scientific knowledge that we need?
Yeah, for sure.
If nobody else wants the microphone, I'll put one in. I always thought that science was man's measure of divine mystery.
Ooh. Science is man's measure of divine mystery. Yeah, that's pretty deep. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions and for listening. May the mystery be with you.
During the offertory, you are invited to come forward and silently place a pebble into the bowl of water for any joys and concerns that you're holding on your heart. When you give to the UUFF, you're helping us nurture learning, inspire spiritual insights, and lovingly transform our community and the world. For those gathered in person, greeters will come around with baskets for donations. All are also invited to donate via text message to the number 844-963-2785. This number will also appear on the screen. Or you may visit the website at uuffxbg.org/giving. This week is also a Share the Plate week. The Share the Plate offering today is for the Lloyd F. Moss Free Clinic, which stands as an example of healthcare volunteerism, philanthropic support, and delivers regular, quality, life-saving healthcare to thousands of area residents who would otherwise go without it. The clinic receives no federal support and depends on monetary contributions from individuals and organizations like ourselves to serve people each year. Our offertory will now be greatly received.
You can go receive it. You can go. Yes, be the one to receive it.
She likes being in here with us, and she's doing that.
She's trying to walk.
I don't really.
Yeah, she's on there.
Getting strong.
May all that has been shared and freely given here help us to grow in generosity and caring for the world of which we are a part.
Each week at UUFF, we take a moment to honor, to recognize all of the joys, the sorrows, and the milestones that we, a gathered community, want to hold in deep care and love. Today, we have a concern. Our beloved congregant, Natalie Davis, passed away yesterday morning after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. The celebration of life will be this coming Saturday at 11:30 a.m. here at UUFF. Please bring a snack to share at a reception that will follow. And please keep her husband Ray in your heart. he welcomes visitors. We also have two joys. Kurt says, the fellowship delivered 5 Thanksgiving baskets and additional food donated by members for the community of Hazel Hill. And Kurt also shares with us another joy. We have delivered 12 of 21 gift cards needed to the teens of Hazel Hill for Christmas. The fellowship has partnered with Hazel Hill to help low-income residents, and they always welcome our support. So knowing that we've given 12 of those gift cards at the time this was submitted last night, let's see if we can't give 12 more, or maybe 24 more. So take a moment to hold all of the joys, concerns, spoken and unspoken, in your heart, in your spirit, and on your mind this morning.
There's a lot going on this time of year here, and so I wanted to insert a few announcements of all the things that are going on so that you know about it and you might want to join. There has been an ongoing adult book study that our music director David Brown leads that goes on, and it will continue to go on, and you can join it at any time. It's a book study of how to believe in God, whether you believe in religion or not, by Clark Strand. And it's Sunday mornings at 9 a.m., from 9 to 10, just before the service. On Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, December 5th at 5:45, the Hanukkah menorah lighting will be at Herkamp Park, and everyone in the community is welcome to come. And as we just heard, the celebration of life for Natalie Davis will be this coming Saturday at 11:30 a.m. here. And then lastly, next Sunday, right after the pageant service, we'll be having a holiday decorating party. We're going to decorate the sanctuary and probably maybe out in the hallway and the foyer. And everyone is welcome. We'll have eggnog and cookies and that kind of thing. Please come, especially if you love to decorate. We can use you. That will be next Sunday, December 10th, 12 p.m. after the service. Our closing words are by Lisa Friedman.
We touch the floor to remember that wherever we bring our best self is holy ground.
We reach to the sky to remember that we are part of a mystery much bigger than ourselves.
We hold hands to remember that we need one another as a part of one human family. We join our voices to remember that we each have the gift to offer the world and to use in making the world a better place.
Our closing hymn can be found in your teal hymnal, 1003. Where do we come from? 1003, where do we come from? In the teal hymnal, I invite you to stand. This is a round. It's a little bit different than what we normally do. We'll sing all the way through the song so that everybody gets to hear it, and then we're going to split up. So we have this side's going to be group number 1, this side's going to be group number 2. And let me just say, if you can do this and hold your own while other people are singing something else, you should be in choir. Yeah, so this is really a test. I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. All right, so here we go. It's in F minor. Very, very simple. It goes like this. Here we go. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Do that again. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Here's the next. Where do we come from again? Where do we come from? Here's the next part. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery again. Mystery, mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? All right, that's it. That's it. All right, now we're splitting up. So group one, maybe Reverend Doug and Roddy, you help them out, and I'll help out group number two, and we're going to see how this goes. Fingers crossed. All right, here we go. Where do we come from? Group one, here we go. Ready? And go. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
Mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a wonder and a mystery.
Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we
Going. Very good, thank you.
Doug, Doug, get out, I'll get this one.
Please join me in reading in unison our words for extinguishing the chalice. We
extinguish this chalice,
but not the light of love and service. May it be a catalyst for spiritual growth and social justice as we carry it outside these walls to the world we live in until we are together again.
Go in peace,
Serve the world, return again in love.